Okay, well, let's kick this sucker off. As usual, I haven't played this enough. I'm not going to be giving you any kind of great strategy thoughts here, probably. Oh, and I forgot to check to see. There should be some of those dudes on the board. There are. Okay, so we got one in Syria, which means this governor will not be moving into this box. He just gets to stay there. We get one up here in Narbonese Gaul for Caesar, and we have one in Hispania. Okay. And that's indeed where the main characters are. Cool. So, what do we want to do? Well, first thing we do, we've got to take our supplies. And that's kind of an automated little process that goes on. So, boink, 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 boink. And now we collect. A couple of gold show up here. A legion and a gold here. 2 legions here. And now I get some power. Now this is where you have to kind of decide what do you need, what do you want to do. I can move through here and grab Italy from Pompeii, and that might be worthwhile, but the danger with that, of course, is I don't want to leave my my civil servant there, because then he'll be available for Pompeii to take. Alternatively, what else is of value for me? That's a good question. Oh, jeez. I'm not going to have a lot of gold. I could get gold by going to Egypt. Let's say I moved without my troops. I could go 1, 2 to Egypt. So if I went 1, 2, 3 to Egypt, I would still be able to make an attack, and I would grab the gold from both Cisalpine Gaul and Egypt. That seems kind of valuable. I would have to take an attack then, which may mean I want to grab some legions, which I'll drop in Egypt, make my enemy very quick. This isn't going to cost me. 1, I grab some gold, free move. 2, 3, I can't take this. I grab some more gold for Caesar, and now I've got enough to do 2 advances. And now I can grab a pile of stuff. Now, I don't have enough strength to attack here, but I have enough to make a quick attack into here, perhaps. I could take my last legion, but that makes it almost, assured that I'll lose Egypt. We'll try this. And now I shake up the baggie. I'm going to be in a military province, which means I'll only be able to gain military advantages. There's only 2 pieces here, so I draw 2. I get a blue and a black. The blue is going to go back in the bag. The black goes here. I lose a legion. Whoops. This isn't good, because now the 2 sets of 2 legions each cancel each other out. I've lost the battle, and I retreat back to Egypt. I'm now very weak in Egypt. I've got some cash. I don't get any compensation for losing a battle that I started. What do I want to do with that cash? Well, I'm in a political province. I'll spend 1 to up my political strategy, competency, and now I could buy some here. Now here's the thing. If I buy competencies, maybe I can get that victory, but winning an election seems worthwhile, so I'm going to spend the 2, throw some electors here, and that is Caesar's turn. That puts us to Crassus, and he's a little pissed, as one might expect. So we're going to have to shift through here. That stays. And now we make our production. Gold and a cube. 2 legions here, replenishing my force a little bit. 2 gold here, which I immediately get to pocket. Can I beat Caesar? If I can, what do I really get out of it? Well, one thing I believe I get is a civil servant, which is a cool thing. Tempting, because if I win there, then I can continue moving out here to here, grab the extra gold. That'll get me in a mixed province where I can up my competencies. You know, there's a lot of different decisions to make here. Obviously, my being pissed at Caesar might work to my advantage. The danger, of course, is if I'm somehow weakening myself in relation to Pompey, if I do so. But I think I'm going to take things out on Caesar. Take 2 of these. Whoa. See, here's the problem. This is why I don't want to do this. If I have 4 cubes and I attack Caesar, okay, maybe I get lucky on my cube draw, but I've already pulled one of my cubes out of the pile. Caesar's going to kill 2 of those cubes. I'd either have to leave Syria empty, which seems unwise, or be basically making an equal attack there. So that doesn't seem terribly wise. I would like to hurt him, though. He definitely did some damage to me. I'm going to just stockpile some gold. Now here comes the weird thing. What if I do a naval move here for 1? Do I get another free naval move coming out? I'm going to look that. Yeah, it looks like that's the case. So I took my gold. There's 1 movement point. Pick up another gold. Well, I get a free naval move, but there's nowhere I want to go. I've only moved 1. Oh, let me grab this with me. You don't want to leave your civil servant behind. 2. I'm going to take all 3. 3. The reason I have all 3 is I can pull back to Cyrenaica and do be in a military province if I desire. Okay, so I've got 1 movement point left. I'm attacking here. Only 1 cube gets drawn. It's a blue cube that's not going to affect anything. So, Caesar kills 2 of my legionnaires. We each lose 1. I've defeated Caesar. So, Caesar is going to get the flight card here. He gets to retreat essentially for free to a province. I don't have any production here, so I'm going to retreat to here. Drop this legion off in Egypt. This becomes a black governor. And now, in addition, Caesar's lost a battle, so he gets this marker, and he gets to put a cube in the pool. But because of this card, he loses where he was leading. He's not leading here, but he loses a competency there. Now I have one more move. Now I could shift back to here. That makes this very vulnerable. Alternatively, I could shift up. See, this is more vulnerable if I'm not in it, because I kill 2 pieces automatically. But somebody can go in with 3 pieces knowing they're going to win. But if I move here, now I have my governor back. And remember, I had 1 movement point left. So that allows me to do that. Alternatively, I could move, say, up to here. But wealth seems important. Okay, I've ended up in an economic province. So I spend 1 to make myself the leader. And I'll spend 2 more to grab 2 dudes, just like Caesar did. And now we're tied for the lead there. Now what's important, perhaps here, let's see who goes next. Pompey, Caesar, Crassus, Pompey, Caesar, Crassus. If we hold even for some reason, I have the election. Now we can't assume that's going to happen. But now we go over to Crassus's, to Pompey's turn. Well, the easiest thing to pick on is clearly Crassus, which is the problem with this setup. It looks like Crassus is very weak throughout Africa. So let's see what happens for Pompey. He's going to get his production. 2 legions here. A legion and a gold for himself there. 2 legions here. And nothing anywhere else. Okay. Now he's got the ability to continue to make attacks, essentially. He's got a lot of troops where he is. Of course, Caesar's got a lot of troops near him, so maybe he doesn't, want to denude what's near Caesar. Cyrenaica is just open. Egypt opens up another possibility there. But I don't have many troops right there. So let's just do something. We'll see what happens. 1, because I have no cash laying around. 2 out to sea. 3 into Africa. Only 1 token is going to be picked up for this. And it is a blue one, which means this goes away. There's no battle, essentially. This will fall. And that means this marker leaves Caesar's hands, goes over here, he gets a black cube in the bag. So he's become more combat effective by losing another battle. I'm going to leave just 1 unit. I don't think that's terribly valuable. I'll march into here for my 4th move, right? 1, 2, 3. This is 4th move. This is freely mine. Actually, I'm going to leave another legion back there. I've taken another province. And that allows him to flip his card. And what does that do for him? I think that gives him a competency in whatever he likes. He's going to take a military competency. Might as well lead in both, right? And that puts us over on Pompey, who only has 1 gold. He can only buy 1 thing. All he can do is military things. He'll boost his military competency as well. Because now he's leading. If he had 2 more bucks, he could put a couple of cubes in the bag. But he doesn't have them available, so that's not going to happen. Okay, on to the Caesar turn. And now, well, these push out. Now, Caesar's at a disadvantage because he's lost one of his 2 civil servants here. Let's see what his production is. A couple of coins, which he gets to pocket right away. And a couple of legions here that he can use. The problem for him is he'd like to get back at the guy who pissed him off, which would be Crassus. However, militarily, it doesn't look terribly good for him. Coinage-wise, he's got problems for padding his own world here. There are no coins sitting around on the board. What could he do? He'd like to get a civil servant is what he'd like, and there's some cheap ones down here. That may be his best move. One. 2, 3 into Egypt. That means I don't get much this turn, but that's okay. Oh, I get 2 extra pieces. Let me take 1 coin here that I'm going to bring with me, or 1 soldier and a coin at one of my starting places that I can grab, because that'll give me 3 coins, which allows me to do 2 actions. Alright, so we only get 1 draw in Egypt. We get a red one, which goes back on Caesar's pile, kills the Egyptian troops without a problem. That's going to be a loss of a province. Since he's not on the one side, he gets the one side and gets a cube in here. And this goes away and becomes one of Caesar's, which now gives him a civil servant. Now he's got another move, but the only thing he could do that might work is an attack here on Crassus. Does he want to try that? Again, the odds aren't good if he leaves troops behind, and if he doesn't leave troops behind, he's so weakened. So he's just going to sit there and take that as his stance. He's in a political area. He spends 1 to take leadership, spends 2 more, and I think he can do 1 from Crassus and 1 for himself. I'm not sure about that, but I think that's how it works. Okay. And that's the end of his turn. Puts us back to Crassus. Crassus is basically fighting 2 people right now. That's not going to work well. This stands. This comes out. He gets a lot of production, though. This goes right into his pile. Now there's a lot of gold out there. Gold is very valuable. You don't want to just leave it lying around, I don't think. take my civil servant with me. 1. I want to get to here. Free move. 2. 3. Oh, I didn't take my 2 pieces. I'll take them as soldiers here. 3. Got a pile of gold here. How fitting for Crassus. And now I get one more move. I can make an attack here into Africa. And I'll do that with 3 of my pieces. Now there's 2 Pompeii pieces here, so that means 2 cubes get drawn. They're a blue and a black. That's an elimination. That's kind of a bad draw for both players because they each lose a piece and it doesn't change the outcome at all, which works out like this. Black gets a governor there, and blue gets a cube in the pool. And now black's sitting in a mixed area. All he can do is buy competencies. I'm going to spend just 3. That leaves me a nice pool of cash for later. And I'm going to up both my competencies. I could have spent 3 more and upped another competency. If I was going for that for my victory, fine. But the problem here is, if you start spending your cash for improving just your competencies, you're going to be weakening yourself elsewhere on the board. I'm not allowed to do any of the other things. I'm just allowed to improve my competency because I took a mixed area. That puts us on Crassus. That stands. I get 2 legions. I'm sorry, Pompeii. Did I remember to do this? Jeez, I don't know. I don't think I think this was supposed to be here because it produced last turn, as is obvious by the fact that there's 4 cubes. But you can see where you could make little mechanical slip-ups like that, especially if you're doing it on camera, and life becomes more difficult. So now what the question is, if I hit Crassus here, I knock his competencies down because he's a leader in both. That becomes more appealing to do. On the other hand, I have gold that I want to collect that would probably end up going to someone else. Let's see what I have here. Caesar, Crassus, Pompey. Let's see, Caesar, Crassus, Pompey. Caesar, Crassus. I'm on Pompey's turn. I forgot to move that. Again, there's a lot of little mechanical stuff you got to remember, and if you screw it up, you're screwing the whole game up, basically. So, position-wise, Crassus is at the serious disadvantage. However, he's the easy guy to pick on, too. And that's kind of the problem here. If I go 1, 2, 3, yeah. So what I'm going to do with Pompey is I'm going to take a gold and a legion. One. We have a fight. There's only one cube for the defender, so I only pick 1 cube, and it's a blue one. So the defender is eliminated, but he still has his piece, so he gets to kill 2 of Pompey's pieces. Now, Jesus. This is going to change hands. That puts a Crassus piece in the bag, making him more and more powerful the more pieces he loses. He becomes more and more militarily capable. And He's also got the flee card at this point, which means his 2 competencies drop, which is really cool. That's why I did that. And he has to flee. Well, he's going to flee to Africa Nova because he's going to lose it if he doesn't do that again. He's still leading in competencies, though, so he could get driven back again if he loses that. Now, what was my movement again? I think I just went 1. Two. Grab some gold. 3. Grab some more gold. Now I could launch an attack against, say, Illyricum. That looks not unpleasant. We'll go in there for 4. Only 1 red cube gets drawn. Or only 1 cube gets drawn because of red having 1. It's a black cube. That has no effect on this. So we each lose a cube. Red is losing a space. Pompey is almost at victory. 1 more territory and he wins the game. Which is something everybody's got to worry about at this point. And a red cube goes in the bag. Now we're back here and that's where we belong. Let's not get ahead of ourselves there. I forgot his action phase. Now he's got a little pile of money. He can spend 3, that'll leave him 1. He's got military dominance. He's going to throw 4 cubes in the bag. That's going to make him militarily a lot more powerful at this point. And with his current position on the board, only 1 cylinder short of victory, it feels like those extra cubes could end up getting him in the position where he can win this. Alright, back around on Caesar. And we collect our gold. And whatnot. And here's the problem. You gotta stop Pompey at this point. And how do you stomp him? Well, I think I'm gonna have to do it out of Egypt. With only 2 gold in hand, I'm gonna take a gold and a legion. Drop 3 legions here. I want to take my civil servant with me though. Yeah. There's 1 facing Pompey here. I get a red. It kills a Pompey unit. Battle's 1. That's gonna put another Pompey cube in here. It makes him stronger. I've got to take more from him. Free move 2. I'm up here. Three. And 4. That gives me a big pile of troops here. I get to attack Pompey again. That's only 1 cube drawn. Oh, jeez. It's only 1 cube drawn from the bag. I don't like these kind of randomizer things. I don't feel like I'm getting a trustworthy randomization. I get a blue cube, which means We take another loss here. Caesar's made his move. Pompey back another one. Flips this. He gets to increase one of his competencies. He takes away everybody's advantage here, or grabs the military for himself here. He's going to grab the military. It makes it harder for somebody else to win the military victory. And now we have Caesar's cash. Caesar has $3. That means he can take 2 actions. He's in a mixed area. All he can take are competency actions. He's going to throw his own military up to the top of the ranks. That puts it on Crassus. Now Crassus no longer has to attack Pompey as badly. If you look, Pompey and Caesar are both at 3 cylinders left, so they're both at 6 territories. Not sure what I want, but we'll see. Looks like I'm not getting anything for production. I got a pile of cash already. I think I'll take troops. I do not have any civil servants, and I don't know what to do. If I don't take troops, I feel like Pompey is going to be able to hit me. But with the troops, I don't know, I'm not going to have that many total, and that's a problem too. I'd really love to take Africa, but there are a lot of blue cubes in here. Alternatively, I could take something easy. Maybe take Macedonia and Achaia. I guess we'll do this. Free. 1, 2, 3. Just 1 cube drawn. I'm probably going to lose this one. Oh, it's a red cube. I'm okay. However, that gives Pompey another cube. I'd like the civil servant. I'm taking my chances on this. Oh, this should be a black. No, and I'm abandoning Macedonia. Now that's dangerous. Only 1 cube drawn for Pompey. It's a red cube. Goes back in the bag. I did not. I didn't want to make that attack. Oh well. My screw up. Yeah, that was a major error. Now we're on Pompey's turn, and it may be over here. What do we get? 2 legions here. Gold and a legion here. Oh, geez. It's not Pompey's turn. I haven't been moving this thing. Ah, fuck. That's what I collected. But this was here. This was here. Okay. So let's see. We had Caesar go, and we had Crassus go, and now we're on Pompey's turn. It's election time. Caesar's going to win the election, so he gets a consul card. At this point, he gets an additional civil servant he can place, which he'd like to place someplace kind of safe. There are no kind of safe places. He'll throw it up here in Gallia. That is at least near his power source right now. He also loses, how many popular support? Three of his citizens. So he's unlikely to get reelected. All right, now we go to Pompey's turn up here. And let's do this again. That goes here, that stays, that goes, that stays. 2 legions here. Legion and a gold here. 2 legions here. Now that's getting close to the limit. It's 6. That is the limit. He might want to move them at some point soon. And 2 legions here. Now here's the problem. What he'd love to do is make an attack into here and here, but he's just not going to have the troops to do it. But if he takes 2 troops, makes an attack into here 1, he could then evacuate blank 2, hit here, but he's back a lot. I thought he was close to winning, but he lost a number of provinces, and he's no longer really near the military victory anymore. Oh, boy. And the attack on Macedonia is risky because of this being here. Jesus. This is a tough game to, finish the victory on because of the balance of power issues. Luckily, it does have a definite ending time coming. So what if I attack 1, blank 2? Yeah, I can only take 2 by that kind of movement. And that's the problem. Oh, yeah, I placed Caesar's thing, his civil servant. I'll take cash because I'm low on cash. It doesn't look like I have a whole lot available to me. Are there arrows? Yeah, there are arrows from Sicily into Africa. That's kind of cool. So 1, 2, take your civil servant with you. 3. I should have probably taken that one out. That's going to be an attack. Only 1 cube drawn. It's a blue cube. So I win with no pain. That throws an extra black cube in the bag. Now, this is where I didn't count well. If I had counted better, I could move for another attack, but I'm not in position to do so. I could sail up here, but I can't attack that, and I have nothing that I can really attack from in any of these locations. I feel pretty safe here. Actually, I'm going to leave this here and shift this back in with these troops for my 4th move. It puts me in a position to perhaps take these. Now I'm in a joint area, which may not have been what I wanted to do. I'll take a military and a political, and then try to remember to do this each time. Otherwise it just causes problems.